Good morning. It's a fun day here because there's just a tiniest little bit of snow drifting down, almost like you could say like God's dandruff. And it makes me really happy. I mean, it's dark and it's cold, but I love the snow. It's like it always seems like angels' kisses landing on my face, and feels like a blessing. And I never knew until I moved out into the country just how much noise snow makes. I always thought of snowfall as being very silent, and in a way it is very muffling and quiet, but there's also this whisper, this gentle susurration of sound. It's fairly lovely. Anyway, on to today's topic, which I think will be the idea of needing information before we can move forward. That's kind of vague, but it's like a lot of times we're unsatisfied with life. And it's common to feel like we have these limitations that we're unhappy with, or that there are problems in our lives, or that we can't seem to achieve what we want to achieve. And we keep setting these goals, one after another, that even if we do achieve a goal, as long as we're functioning on the ego level, we'll achieve a goal and then we're immediately dissatisfied with it. Maybe for a brief flash, we have this feeling of achievement or self-worth or whatever it is. But then it's gone, and we're addicted to that feeling, like we need that feeling. And we keep searching for it in more and more goals and higher levels of status that we're seeking, and whatever it is that fulfills that for us. And that can go on for a really long time. Like that can go on, your whole life if you're not careful. But it never works, because it's always searching outside of ourselves for something that can only be found inside of ourselves. As much accolades as we may get from the outside world for any achievement or trait or skill or whatever, if we don't already feel worthy and valuable inside ourselves, we'll have a really hard time even taking that in from other people, even taking in that feeling that somebody appreciates or admires or values us. Because that's the whole problem, right? We've got a block in ourselves to feeling that, to accepting that we are lovable, that we are loved, that we are love, accepting that we have value and worth just for being. That's a really hard thing to get, but at the same time, until we do, really nothing in the world is going to give us that feeling. Because it's already inside of us. And that's, you can't feel that at the time, but it's already inside of us. And it's just our blocks to it that's keeping us from feeling it and perceiving it. And as long as those blocks are there, it doesn't matter how much we get from the outside. We're still not going to be able to enjoy that feeling and experience that for ourselves, because we're still the blocks are just going to block it. That's what they do. That's what they're for. So I would just like to say that the work is inside of ourselves. You know, in this game of life, we keep trying to make it about doing. We do this, we do that. We want to do this, we want to do that. Why can't we do this? Why can't we do that? But the game of life is not about doing. Doing is transitory. It passes and there's nothing left of it. It's not important. It has no real worth, no staying value. But being is the whole game. I mean, that's the game of life. What do you want to be? Who? Who do you want to be? Because that's eternal. You take that with you. All the growth that you do in your life and all of the lessons that you've learned and all of the expansiveness that you've gained and wisdom and perception and all of that, you take it with you wherever you go, into the next life, into the soul field, whatever it is that you do after this. It's never lost. Being is eternal. Being is never lost. So it's the only thing really worth putting your awareness on and putting your attention to. That's what the game is. And so when we feel like that we don't know why things aren't working in life and why we can't do what we want to do, what we're missing is that critical piece of information, which is, you know, which is a question really, like, what if you quit asking yourself, what do you want to do? What if you asked yourself, who do I want to be? Who am I already? Who is the best possible version of me? That's where you shift into something that's meaningful and transformative and something that will actually give you those feelings of satisfaction and validation and self-worth and love that you've always wanted. And it's the only way. I mean, we like to think that someday there's this magic thing that we can do or this magic level that we can reach where suddenly, miraculously, we'll get adoration from millions and finally be celebrated and know that we're valuable and valued and worthy. And it's never going to happen. Even if you do get the adulation of millions. I mean, look at the lives of sports stars and movie stars and politicians at the top ranks of their field. Anyone. You can see that there are people with billions of dollars, literally, who are unhappy, who still have no idea how to feel loved or worthy. It doesn't matter what we accomplish in the outside world. None of that can get in because it's only inside of ourselves that we can feel it. It's already there. And when we clear out the blocks, clear away the ego defenses that are so afraid of finding out that it's not there, when we finally clear those away, it's right there, like it's always been there. And there's no other way to achieve it. It's beautiful, but there are no shortcuts. You know, I'm sorry. It would be so much easier for all of us if there were, but that's just not the way life is. That is not the game. If that were the game, then the rewards would be that fulfilling. The rewards would fulfill the needs that we really have. That's the clue, right? Because all of those rewards do not fulfill us. It's only when we have that within ourselves that we can receive it from the outside world in the first place and take it in and feel it. You know, let ourselves believe in it and not feel like we don't deserve it or we're frauds or we're afraid of being seen that way. Because all of those are feelings that recognize it's transitory. It will come and it will go, and you actually have no control over it, and you know that it's not real. You know that. That's why you're afraid to take it in, because you know that it can go away again, and you're afraid of trusting it. So this all came up with a conversation with someone today, this morning, and I thought it just was really important, because it's like, it's so often we don't even know where we're going wrong. We know that we're not fulfilled. We know that we're not happy. We know that we're not feeling good about ourselves. We're not feeling secure. And we don't know how to get there. So we either give up on it, or we pursue it in all of these kind of futile ways. And often we'll just, generally, I think, bounce like a pinball back and forth between those two bumpers. But until we ask ourselves another question, until we look for a source of information beyond what we already think and believe, we're going to be stuck in that role, in that place. So this is the information that I want to offer to the world, and hope that it helps. And also, always these are a reminder to myself, because I forget like anyone else. So my time is quite long today. I'm going to just zip off and go out and enjoy the snow and contemplate who I want to be and who I really am. And I wish that kind of fruitful exploration for you today as well. Enjoy your lovely day. Blessed be.